show us picking all of this squash and zucchini, but this week we have just been overrun with things from the garden. So I have spent this afternoon trying a new canning recipe. This is squash and zucchini pickles, and I am about to put them in a water bath to seal these cans, and hopefully we're gonna have a good little treat here.
We're getting this much out of the garden just about every day now. Mallory's a little behind. How's your canning going? Show us what you got.
Oh, I got about 3 pounds of string beans. I haven't done a great job at showing our progress with what we're getting out of our garden, but today I am processing some string beans because we have an abundance of them. I'm cutting them up, I'm gonna blanch them and then vacuum seal them to freeze. I guess I could can them, but not an expert on that, and it just seems easier to freeze and faster. So you can kind of see this is how far I've gotten, and I've still got quite a bit left to go. You can see in there.
Well, it's been about 3 days since we picked the garden because it's been raining in the afternoons, and we thought we had caught up with it, but it just keeps on making.
All right, this is our first watermelon out of our garden. Thing's ready to burst. Okay.
You look like you've done that before.
It's so warm. It's good. So most of our summer garden has finished. We've harvested everything other than the tomatoes. We've got a few watermelons left, some peppers, and this oak right here. But we are going to till up everything that's done and start some fall stuff. So we're at the end of the summer garden season. It is early July, which means it is close to 100 degrees here just about every day, and everything is just burning up at this point. So we wanted to give an update of how our garden did and what we got out of it this year. So we'll start with our watermelons. We probably got about 5 watermelons off these plants. There's still a few small ones that are buried in the weeds here, but
It's real hard to weed eat where the vines are on the ground, but we did our best.
they were supposed to be about 25 pounds each, but
Here's
they
one.
probably ended up being about 10 pounds. They ended up being very tasty and we liked them a lot, but I don't know if we would grow this variety again just because they are very small and they were very seedy. Our tomatoes never did thrive. I think it's just been too hot. The weeds kind of overtook them, and we had some issues with bloom rot. This one doesn't have it. This one had bug issues. So we kind of fought that all season. We've gotten a couple of tomatoes, but
They're actually doing better now than they have
Yeah.
all season. And we're having to water like every day.
the cherry tomatoes, on the other hand, have done excellent. They're just now starting to come in, so we need to pick some of these. But I think this was a good amount of plants for us for the cherry tomatoes because we don't eat a ton of them, and this is a lot just for 3 plants. This was purple whole peas. They ended up doing really well. We probably got about 2 pounds of shelled peas off of them. Enough to put in the freezer.
We missed some.
Yeah. Next year we'd probably plant more of these just because we really like purple whole peas. And we're not gonna have enough to last through the winter for sure. We aren't gonna have enough to last through the summer even. We planted way too many cucumbers. I would say we probably got 20 pounds worth of cucumbers off these plants.
And there's still some on there.
Yeah, and we just kind of gave up on them. So we'll rip whatever's left of here off and give them to the chickens. But for next year, we'll probably only do 1 or 2 plants because we don't eat a ton of cucumbers.
The chickens have ate really good this
Yeah,
year.
the chickens have eaten far more cucumbers than we have. These were zucchini. Again, way too many plants. We probably got at least 30 pounds of zucchinis off of these plants. Next year, maybe 2 plants. And even that may be too much. The zucchini did way better than we expected it to. And here, I don't know if you can even see them. Let me see if I can find one. This was a whole row of onions.
Yeah, note to self, you gotta weed the onions a little better
Yeah.
than everything else.
See. We haven't harvested any of these yet. They're still pretty small. And I don't have high hopes that they're gonna turn out well. But we're trying. You can see there's one right there.
And I've been weed eating like between the rows like maybe once a week, but definitely, every week and a half or 2 weeks. And
Yeah, we definitely didn't do well with weed control. Next year we're gonna do a lot more planning on how we set this up, and we were just kind of rushed this year. We wanted to get it done, and we were running late in the season, so we kind of just...
The big tree really slowed us down.
Yeah, the big tree did slow us down. These, you can't tell from this crunchy mess, were sugar snaps. And this we want to plant maybe a whole row of next year. We really love these. It was never really, we would pick just enough for maybe one meal like a week. So we definitely want to like double, triple what we have of these for next year. Next we've got our peppers. We planted 2 jalapeno peppers, but the first one died. These haven't really done great. They're pretty small.
Yeah, they don't get big. You can see one's kind of turning red.
But we've gotten some off. This was a bell pepper.
Something ate the entire plant.
Yeah, a critter ate that one. And then this one was a banana pepper, or is a banana pepper. And we're still getting some banana peppers off of it. This is a cayenne pepper. And we just picked these the other day, so there's only one on here right now. And this is a habanero.
Still haven't got a habanero yet, but there's a couple of green ones on there. Yeah.
There's a bunch of little ones down here. So hopefully we're gonna get some of those. I won't eat any, but Stetson will. Our squash here, you can see, is just...
The squash was like maybe a 20-foot long row, and that was entirely too much. I mean, there's still squash. Mallory puts a lot up.
I canned some, and then I froze a ton, and we just will never plant this much squash.
You think you probably got 30 pounds?
Yeah, we got at least 30 pounds of squash. Way too many plants. Next year we'll probably just do 2 or 3 plants, but it tasted great. It turned out really well, but just way too much. Again, the chickens have eaten more squash than we have.
Yeah, we love squash, but just not that much. We want to do a better job of canning and preserving and just all the above, but we're limited on space right now. So as time goes on, we'll probably do a better job and plant more as we have more space and learn how to can.
So our okra is one of the few things that is still thriving, and it'll probably go another month at least. It's very healthy still. We only planted like 5 plants. We'll probably plant more than this next year because we love okra. We've been eating it as it's come in and haven't been able to even freeze any yet because we eat it so many times a week. So we'll probably do more of this next year. From here to the end of the row was string beans. We went ahead and tilled that up this past weekend so we could plant some pumpkins. We probably got 20 pounds of string beans out of this 20-foot row. So a ton for what we planted.
And we also did bush beans, which, you know, we were like, well, we don't have to build trellises. That'd be so much easier.
Yeah.
It was a pain having to bend over and pick them up. So we think we'll do pole beans next year.
Yeah, for sure we're gonna do pole beans next year. But this was a good amount for us to eat some and to freeze some.
Yeah.
Next year I want to try to can some. So I think at least half a row next year would be sufficient for us. This was corn. Our corn did not thrive. It made corn, but they were small. So we probably only got about 10 ears total of corn off of here. Not really worth the effort we put into it, but next year we'll try to do better. And again, we went ahead and tilled this, and we are getting ready, or we already planted our pumpkins for the fall. And that's our garden.